Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Welcome to the GBN television edition for today, the 7th day of October 2021. I'm Odette Campbell. In the headlines this evening, the police commissioner explains the plan of action for new prison facility at Grand Anse. He says it may never be used at all. She was given what could have been a death sentence at the age of 3, but tonight she tells a story of a battle well fought. We'll share a success story from 8-year-old Amia Hamlet from St. Patrick. There's a lot of talk about Ven-Ven and using it to cure COVID-19, but a local scientist issues a word of caution. Cabinet to convene next week to deliberate on the reopening of schools, and residents on the island's northern corridor tell stories of compounded grief as their neighborhoods suffer one loss after another to COVID-19. Let's cross to Krista Campbell for a look at what's happening around the globe and in the wide and wonderful world of sports.
Good evening, Odette, and a special good evening to our viewers and listeners. In our probe around the globe this evening, medical investigators in Guyana have ruled out the COVID vaccine as being responsible for the sudden death of a teenage boy, as autopsy concludes he died from a brain bleed. And over in Pakistan, at least 20 dead as houses collapse in an earthquake. Sporting fans, you will hear more from broadcaster and former West Indies bowler Michael Holding, who challenges the world to stop being silent and embarrassed the racist. Over to you, Odette.
Thanks, Krista. Definitely some interesting stories there to look forward to. We'll bring you details of those and other stories right after this message.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Now for the news in detail. Well, of course, the police commissioner has an explanation for the lockup at Grand Anse, but we'll get to that shortly. We start tonight's newscast on a very positive note. There's great news for us in Patrick family in this report. You'll hear the story of an 8-year-old girl who, at the age of 3, was diagnosed with leukemia. Her father will tell how she demonstrated that she's a fighter, a survivor, and an inspiration to all. He'll also tell of the help and challenges faced along the way. Rena Pear-Thomas brings you their story.
Amia Hamlet from Shantimel St. Patrick was diagnosed with lymphoblastic leukemia at the age of 3, the news that no parent would like to hear. Ike Hamlet, Amia's father, explained that he took his daughter to see a pediatrician after experiencing fever at night, pale skin, and other symptoms. He later then had to rush her to the hospital, where many tests were done, but yet no one could find the problem.
She was not really diagnosed in Grenada. We did not know what we were dealing with right here. She spent about 11 days at the hospital just doing different tests. And everything that they seemed to, that they were guessing it was, turned up negative. And they were looking for lupus and other autoimmune diseases, but they all turned up negative. So, and she was just getting worse. She was getting worse. So I made the decision. I made some contacts, made the decision to take her out of the hospital. From the hospital, I put her, we went to the airport, straight on a plane, we went to Trinidad. When we got to Trinidad, that's where she was really diagnosed. And we were told then, I was told.
The father was told Amia had to start treatment in Trinidad immediately and will have to do so for 2 years. The financial burden was a lot for the family, especially with the traveling. Relatives and church members contributed where they can, but the money seemed like it was never enough.
The days I'm in Grenada here, she's getting treatment. I'm telling you, this sucked my finances. She would have to go to the hospital every week to do a blood test. Every week. She's on chemo every day. The chemo tablets are not available in Grenada. We have to send overseas to get it. There were times I go to the hospital here to get treatment. I didn't have a cent.
The entire family changed their eating habits to support the toddler and continued to pray to God for his guidance daily. Ike said there was a time in this battle he felt spiritually drained and thought his daughter would have died.
Most of the children on the ward, they died. And it was a really sad situation. That was a place I was just depressed to go. The truth is, at some point, I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to read my Bible. For me, it was a faith journey. I actually remember locking myself in the toilet one day and slapping up the wall in the toilet and thinking in my mind, how can I run away from the hospital and escape from this? Because I didn't expect to see my child having to go through this experience.
It seemed that prayers were answered as the family later received financial assistance from the Lions Club Grenville, the Grenada Cancer Society, and other organizations. Today, Amia is 8 years old and cancer-free and only required to do her regular checkup.
And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
With every breath that she's able and with every breath that we in Grenada are able, we're giving God praise for that family and for her in particular. We thank God for that. And as we say, we always like to bring the positive stories to you because we've been inundated for the past year and a half by all the negative stories. Moving on now, the government of Grenada has sought to clarify the circumstances surrounding the newly designated holding facility at Grand Anse. The facility, located on a compound that has been used to house persons in quarantine and isolation since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, is now known as the Grand Anse prisons and lockups. There's been a public hue and cry about the designation, with many concerned about its proximity to the world-famous Grand Anse beach. However, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin has explained that it is a temporary measure designed to reduce the potential spread of COVID-19 at Her Majesty's prisons. He says the facility may never even be used for its designated purpose, and he explained that before housing a prisoner in any facility, it must be appropriately designated. Further explaining what he called a forward-thinking measure, the commissioner confirmed that there are no prisoners in the temporary facility at present, as the in-house isolation facility at Richmond Hill is currently sufficient. He said, and I quote, "This is a temporary mechanism to serve as a halfway point for persons sentenced or remanded to Her Majesty's prisons who may be positive for COVID-19. The intention here is to reduce the risk of sending positive cases to our prisons, potentially running the risk of infecting the entire prison population." End of quote. The police commissioner added that to legally hold persons there, the facility has to be designated for the intended purpose. According to him, Her Majesty's Prison at Richmond Hill has made adjustments at its own facility to currently isolate a limited number of such persons. Therefore, the Grand Dance lockup is a redundancy measure in case of Her Majesty's Prison's in-house isolation facility reaching capacity. A press release from the Government Information Service says Commissioner Martin is optimistic that once the current level of community spread is reduced, this measure will be rescinded. And that's an explanation there from the Police Commissioner, Mr. Edwin Martin. And we're going on to news of education starting at the cabinet level. Members of the cabinet will convene next week to deliberate on the reopening of schools. Let's look ahead to that with Cherian Blackman-Stevens.
Education Minister Emmeline Pearce says Cabinet will soon convene to chart the way forward for the reopening of schools, while teaching and learning at present continue via the online platform.
As to what that final decision will be as it relates to vaccination and school reopening, we expect that our consultation period would end in the next week, right? And Cabinet would take a final decision as it relates to education, the return of students, and then we would be informing the public as to how we are going to move with a first phase of return to the classroom. And note I'm saying first phase, that will not be every student in Grenada.
Minister Pearce said that while Grenada's COVID-19 cases continue to show a downward trend, many issues must be taken into consideration to ensure the safety of the nation's children.
We do have a number of students with underlying conditions. Asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, it is the fact, right? Now, should we return to school this year, right? And let's just talk about this year. So let us assume November, we're going to return to school, or sometime late in October, I don't know. There's absolutely no way that we can consider these students as we did before. There's absolutely no way, because the risk would be too high for this group of students, and unfortunately, there are a number of them.
As is becoming the trend, vaccination will play a key role in the resumption of face-to-face teaching and learning. Both students 12 years and over and teaching and supporting staff within the school compound are encouraged to take the available Pfizer or AstraZeneca vaccines.
We want to make sure we give as many students as possible an opportunity to return to school. And that opportunity, I'm saying, will be increased if more of our students or most of our students are vaccinated, most of our teachers are vaccinated.
Grenada, as of Wednesday night, recorded 650 active cases, of which 47 are new. 2 deaths were recorded and 44 people are hospitalized. The records show that 26,003 people are fully vaccinated and 9,572 are partially vaccinated. Cherian Blackman-Stevens, GBN News.
As COVID-19 related deaths have spiraled over the last few weeks, so too have deaths due to natural causes or chronic ailments. St. Andrew has been rocked notably in that aspect, with residents struggling to cope with the grief as well as the inability to sympathize with family and friends. A GBN crew journeyed to the northeastern part of the parish to gauge the atmosphere in the various communities.
The loss of a loved one, friend or acquaintance is being felt in almost all households and communities in the big parish. Whether due to COVID-related or otherwise, residents in St. Andrew are still in mourning. GBN, in speaking with some of the people living in the Northeast constituency, got a grasp of what it has been like coping with grief.
Some close, not relatives. I don't think I have no direct family who died from it, but there is friends and neighbors around who died. Just a gentleman who did some work for me the other day, he fell down and died. Even yesterday, a bus driver fell down and died, they say. So I think it's kind of devastating for the people around.
Well, to be honest, there is a few deaths in the community. I cannot say the direct things that happen, I cannot say whether COVID, whether not COVID. But I mean, it happened like so unexpected. Most of the dead, they are not sick. It's just like collapse like that.
Being restricted from expressing condolences, comforting neighbors or friends, and hosting the usual third night has also been an hindrance.
Well, for me, it's a problem. Because, you know, in the days we could have go and sympathize. But right now, with the protocol, we cannot go to sympathize. Sometimes we might see the person on the street, and that's where we could say, accept our sympathy, or using the Facebook, or using the WhatsApp. Then we can sympathize. But then the way we used to go to, there is nothing like that. So we call that like the love not showing as we should. Even though we're doing it on the phone also. But the way we need to meet, we cannot.
Well, I think people have they are coping well with it. I think you don't have that many people going to a person's home who have died and so on, but you do have persons still going, not as the usual.
Communities, according to some residents, are no longer the same.
To me, it affects the whole of St. Andrews, especially the Peterben thing. It touched everybody. Everybody in St. Andrews was touched by Peterben. The local people, the business community. Oh God, I'm sorry for Nola, because they were so loved and so together. It really touched, and my heart go out to his mother, Miss Annie Bain.
For one, every time you hear that, the place get quiet. You know, so it means that it is pondering on people's mind. You know, the place getting quiet, and nothing is really going on in terms of culture. So at least we need the place to be back normal.
And I don't know why it is that, as I said before, there are quite a lot of deaths up here. Some COVID related, some not. Sudden deaths, I don't know what is causing that. I don't know, but it's something that is some of us worrying, because you don't know who's next.
I mean, because knowing me, I love funeral. Then when I know the person, and then I cannot go to the funeral, and even with the guy that died yesterday, the bus driver, and I was like, I don't think they could stop this one, because I mean, it's really hot. Even my granddaughter is, you know, like she's grieving over it, because the way when he reach here and he like, don't suck mommy sweetie today, you know, mommy go hold you, and you know, it kind of been grieving.
Residents say it has been tough emotionally. However, they have had to cope, follow the protocols to save lives. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And I'm certain many of us could identify with the sentiments expressed. This is Network News. When we come back, a question about Ven-Ven, white Ven-Ven, other kinds of Ven-Ven. We speak with a local scientist about people saying it can cure COVID-19. You won't want to miss that one. Stay with us.
Grenada Electricity Services Limited will host its 62nd annual meeting of shareholders virtually on Zoom on Thursday, 21st October at 10 a.m. Each attendee is required to register. To ensure that attendees are shareholders or proxies, registrants must be verified by the ECSE. To allow adequate time for this process, we encourage shareholders to register early. Visit grenleg.com or call Grenleg at 237 for registration details.
Republic Bank remains committed to providing all its valued customers with high quality and personalized service in a safe and comfortable environment. In order to maintain COVID-19 protocols while serving you, it has become necessary to arrange an appointment with your relationship officer or the customer service representative at your branch for the following products and services: loans, overdrafts, credit cards, new accounts to include savings, checking, certificate of deposit, and foreign currency, reactivation of dormant accounts, and private banking for existing customers only. You may also log on to our website, complete the application form for the service required, and submit via email to your specific branch. Requests for appointment can also be emailed to customerservice@republicgrenada.com or via private message on our Facebook page. For private banking service, kindly contact your specific branch via telephone. We look forward to welcoming you.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Store foods safely in the event of an emergency or disaster. Check expiry dates and store items that are closer to expiration at the front of the cupboard. Protect opened packages of dried items from pests and losing freshness by placing them in containers with lids. Always keep food covered and stored away from cleaning items. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
We are all essential in the fight against COVID-19.
At Courts, we're doing our part and we encourage you to stay at home, stay safe, and shop online at www.shopcourts.com.
For added convenience, our Courts online customers will receive free delivery and get up to 20% off televisions, appliances, and homewares. Plus, if you shop with Ready Finance, you will pay nothing down for 60 days. Now, you can stay home, shop online, and save.
Remember, do the essential. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, stop the spread.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 GB daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 GB daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in My Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Government, private sector, civil society, academia, farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, invites you to World Food Day 2021, the virtual edition, under the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life. Join us October 15 from 9:30 a.m. via Zoom, Facebook, GIS, and Real FM as we recognize and celebrate the many successes of the agriculture sector.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
And we'll tell you about that white Ven story in a little bit. But first, the Dennis and Louisa Cannon Foundation is undertaking another project in St. Patrick. This time, they're hoping it will improve Grenada's capability of drying cocoa. Rena Pear Thomas stopped by and sent us this report.
Phase 1 of the Dennis and Louisa Cannon Foundation financed project will see the construction of a facility house and access bay for potential workers and visitors, and the focus will then move to the reconstruction of the cocoa drying facility. This year, the foundation undertook the construction of access roads and retaining walls leading up to the project site, valued at over $800,000. Work has already started on the reconstruction of a cocoa drying facility in St. Patrick. Director of the Dennis and Louisa Cannon Foundation, Dennis Cannon, says he remains concerned that Grenada has lost some of its potential for quality cocoa on the international market, and the reconstruction of the cocoa drying facility is geared at addressing this issue. Canning farms over 15 acres of organic cocoa land, among other agricultural plots in several locations in St. Patrick and St. Andrew. Just under a dozen people will find employment on the project, estimated at $250,000 under Phase 1. The foundation in April donated 40,000 EC dollars to the National Disaster Management Agency towards relief assistance to neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines following the eruption of the La Sophie volcano. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear Thomas reporting.
And now for a lesson in the proper use of herbs. The local scientist, Dr. Guido Marcel, is cautioning people here as they seek to use herbal remedies for the treatment of the common cold, the flu, or even COVID-19. Dr. Marcel says there are several things to consider when using herbs in local remedies or selling those to be used by other individuals. GBN's Gerard Joseph visited Dr. Marcel today and sent us this report.
A plant must be clearly identified, differentiated from other similar plants growing in the tropics, while also taking into consideration the time of year and location of where a plant to be used for herbal medicine is growing. So says Dr. Guido Marcel, who is a pharmacognosist, as he expressed some concerns with GBN about the correct use of plants to treat symptoms, including those for COVID-19.
For example, let us take it is very popular now. People are talking about ven or vervine, okay? There are many species of ven in Grenada. So it is easy when one goes out there to maybe confuse the plants. And I think one has to be very careful that they are indeed and in fact collecting the correct plant. Because sometimes people might send you a picture on WhatsApp of a plant, but then they may have just taken that picture from Google. And that's not the plant that they actually used, you know.
Dr. Marcel, while noting that there is no problem with the use of plants, is urging people to carefully check the plant.
People might say, well, they look alike, they are close, so maybe they're having the same thing. But different plants, and especially if you are classified as species, there's a high possibility that your active ingredients, what we call your phytochemicals, may be different. They might vary.
The source should also be checked to ensure that it is not contaminated.
Because remember, people could be using pesticides, you know. Animals could be roaming in the area. So in using something that you think could be helpful to you can cause more problem. So one has to be very careful about that.
The pharmacognosist has this advice on the overall use of plants.
But one of the things people must be mindful of too is that location could change the constituents in plants, you know. So what's growing in my backyard may not be the same thing in a backyard up in St. Patrick, something like that. So sometimes people use something and they say it didn't work. Well, it's true, it didn't work because it is actually different in constituent.
Dr. Marcel, who has over 30 years of experience in his field, cautions against misidentification of dandelion in Grenada.
But dandelion is not natural to this environment. I would not say that there's, put it this way, I have never encountered dandelion in Grenada. But people could bring in seeds and grow it, okay? But it's not popular, it's not native. Dandelion is a temperate plant, okay? And the flowers are yellow. We have dandelion cousin here, which looks like dandelion, but the flowers are white, and it's Chaptalia.
Using neem as another example, which is used as a tonic or for diabetes, he is encouraging proper research as there are two species of neem in Grenada, which have different levels of potency. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
I like that one, Dandelion's cousin. I'll go looking for his cousin. And now for the weekly GBN Health segment. Our health update this week is dedicated to you, our viewers and our listeners. Our Good Morning Grenada host, Blossom Alexis Welsh, posed some insightful trivia questions, and our viewing and listening audience had some very intriguing responses. You'll hear those in this week's GBN Health segment.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Brandon, and Central Deputy Street, Guelph. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
So, the many benefits of this green leafy vegetable. It aids in the prevention of cancer. It fights inflammation. It lowers the risk of heart disease. It promotes bone health, protects eye health, keeps skin healthy, and can also help ensure a healthy pregnancy.
Can you guess the answer to this and other health trivia questions? Well, you will hear the answers to our health trivia questions. These questions and answers will give you very useful information for maintaining good health.
This plant may help with weight loss. It can also drastically lower blood sugar and improve heart disease risk factors, can help treat chronic indigestion, may significantly reduce menstrual pain. Let me see if I can throw in another one. Contains a substance that may help prevent cancer. What do you think it is? Somebody on Facebook says big time. All right, let me go back. Somebody on WhatsApp says PT Bum. This person says Ven Bush. And this one says, hold on. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, baby. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Cassia.
Cassia. All right, but where are you calling from? Walter. Hey, big up St. Mark this morning. What do you think the answer is, baby?
Ginger.
Ginger? You sure it's ginger?
Yeah.
Okay, baby. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye. Sound like a cutie pie. And she is correct, as is most of the other answers. The answer is ginger. This green leafy vegetable can help ensure a healthy pregnancy, keep skin healthy, can protect eye health, promote bone health. It can aid in the prevention of cancer, fights inflammation, lowers the risk of heart disease. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, how you do?
Fine, thank you. Pok chow.
Say it again?
Pok chow.
Why you feel this pok chow? Pok choy? Huh?
Pok chow?
Why you think it's pak choy?
I don't know. I just release that.
All right, hold on to that still.
Okay.
All right, hold on to that one there still. The answer that I looking for is bok choy. So the caller, and I think one or two people on the WhatsApp had it correctly. Bok choy, aka pak choy.
Tonight's Health Edition is dedicated to you, our viewers and listeners. Continue to share your thoughts with us on Good Morning Grenada, aired weekdays on all GBN platforms from 6:45 a.m. For this week's health update, I am Krista Campbell reporting.
I have to admit, I wasn't going to get those answers correctly. So congrats to you, our viewers and listeners, and keep tuned to Good Morning Grenada. Blossom Alexis Welch, she tries to keep you engaged every weekday. And now it's time to look under the lens, see what our citizen journalists have been up to.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
While picking cherries this afternoon, I happened to pick this different and unusual one. A small cherry was attached to a big one. So says Janelle Bartholomew of St. Joseph Convent, Grenville. Janelle's unusual fruit brings a burst of flavor to many dishes. All varieties are highly nutritious and packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They are especially rich in vitamin C. Also known as ascorbic acid, vitamin C plays an important role in iron absorption, collagen formation, and several other critical functions in your body. We thank our Eyesore reporter Janelle Bartholomew for this fruity submission. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
And this is Network News. Still to come from us, HGF Energy and Rubis Caribbean rolling out hydrogen technology initiative in the Caribbean. We'll bring you that after this break.
Consumers Guarantee Insurance advises the public of a temporary change to their office hours, effective September 28. The new hours are Mondays to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. These office hours will continue until further notice. As we continue to cope with this pandemic, all are reminded to remain safe and follow all COVID-19 protocols. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do three things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
The croton scale insect, a new threat to our agricultural production, is now creating major damage to several plants. Mango, soursop, plums, guava, avocado, and crotons are among the main ones affected. Excessive sooty mold, black blight, is associated with this pest. Take action now. Cut and burn infested fruits and shoots. Do not move infested materials to other areas. Treat with horticultural oils and recommended insecticides. Request assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture. Follow all safety protocols when burning trash or applying pesticides. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
There's been a lot of talk about vaccines in recent times, and now we have some good news. The World Health Organization has approved the world's first malaria vaccine, which it says will change the course of history. Experts are hopeful it could save tens of thousands of children's lives every year. We get more in this report.
Scientists are calling this one of medicine's greatest achievements. After 30 years of research, the world's first malaria vaccine has been approved by the World Health Organization and is now set to be rolled out across Africa.
This vaccine is a gift to the world, but its value will be felt most in Africa.
Malaria is a deadly parasite that kills one child every 2 minutes and 400,000 people a year, almost all of them in Africa. This vaccine is known as Mosquirix. It's been developed by pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline and endorsed after a successful pilot program in Ghana, Kenya and Malawi. It's far from perfect, only 30% effective against severe illness, but UN experts say it'll have a massive impact.
Using this vaccine in addition to existing tools to prevent malaria could save tens of thousands of young lives each year.
An historic moment in the fight against an ancient disease. In London, Karianne Greenbank, 9 News.
The shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy continues as Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean join the world in becoming climate resilient while reducing their carbon footprint. Let's get the details on that from Jared Joseph.
A more efficient renewable energy storage method is the highlight of a French-based project as Grenada ushers a new era in the energy sector. HDF Energy, which is a strategic partner to Rubis Caribbean, is rolling out hydrogen technology in the Caribbean region. With the liberalization of the energy sector and the establishment of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, the country stands to benefit from baseload renewable energy plants. The focus will be on the use of intermittent renewable sources such as wind and solar, which are backed by hydrogen mixed with lithium-ion batteries.
Hydrogen is the key factor in their business model because hydrogen, as opposed to lithium-ion storage, seeks to address what we call long-duration storage needs. In other words, hydrogen, through the use of electrolyzers, hydrogen fuel cells, allows you to deploy electricity over a longer period of time as opposed to the traditional 4-hour duration at which lithium iron is most commercially viable.
Aidan Rogers of HDF Caribbean tells GBN that the French Guiana hydrogen-powered plant is designed to be a standalone, fully renewable facility.
What this plant does, however, which is different to most of the renewable plants that you'll be familiar with there in Grenada, is that this combination of technologies allows the plant to supply electricity over a 24-hour basis. And this is the key distinction of this plant.
Rogers says the combination of solar, hydrogen, and lithium-ion will provide a reliable and consistent service to any utility that interconnects to the plant.
What this would really mean for several of the islands, particularly Grenada, is that there is an additional option for policymakers to consider in terms of meeting their sustainable energy goals and meeting their sustainable energy goals in a manner that pretty much has a much more significantly reduced carbon footprint and is more versatile in terms of fitting into your existing energy mix.
He says with such facilities, the reliance on fossil fuels will be eliminated while reliability is maintained. According to Rogers, this will be another option to alleviate the issues faced in terms of intermittency of renewable energy, which is financially viable. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And still to come from us this evening, medical investigators in Guyana rule out the COVID vaccine as being responsible for the sudden death of a teenage boy, as an autopsy concludes he died from a brain bleed. We'll have that and a look at what's happening in the wide and wonderful world of sports with Krista Campbell after these messages.
It's your summer everything loan from the Communal. Borrow up to $10,000 for all your needs. School supplies, staycation, home renovations, appliances or furniture. You can have it all with a summer everything loan. With competitive interest rates and same-day approvals, you can't beat this loan special. Not a member? Join today to get onto this exciting offer. It's your summer everything loan from the Communal. Apply today and take advantage of this exciting offer. Visit the nearest Communal branch or call us at 440-1755 for more information. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Let's get tough on breed your larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the families, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop breeding larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report breeding larceny, call 300.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered. Now for a look at the public forecast. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy, hazy and breezy, with a few light to moderate showers, and this will become more frequent as the night progresses. There's a medium chance of thunder this evening. And the winds, they're east-northeast to east-southeast at 13 to 23 miles per hour. And the warning today is low chance of flash flooding and or landslides. The seas, they're moderate to slightly rough with waves 5 to 8 feet in open waters. And in case you're planning to venture out to sea, a marine advisory remains in effect. The low tide tonight will be at 9:40, the high tide tomorrow at 3:45. Let's start looking ahead to the 3-day weather forecast to see what we can expect on Friday. Partly cloudy to cloudy and hazy, and also a little bit breezy with light to moderate showers. Some may become heavy, and there's a medium chance of thunder, mainly overnight. A main feature throughout this week, we've seen those flashes of lightning and heard the peals of thunder. Let's look ahead to Saturday. Many of us looking forward to going to the beach. Mostly cloudy with light to moderate showers, some becoming heavy with a medium chance of thunder, mainly during the morning and overnight. So if you're planning to go to the beach, looks like you should plan for around midday and into the afternoon. On Sunday, mostly cloudy with light to moderate showers, some becoming heavy with a medium chance of thunder. Sunset generally 5:57 and sunrise 5:57 and sunset 5:53. That's your weather forecast.
Good evening, sporting fans. With 11 days to go before the T20 World Cup, what exactly is happening to some of the teams taking part? Well, let's find out in this report.
Australia's limited overs captain Aaron Finch says David Warner will open the batting with him at the T20 World Cup. This despite the fact that Warner had been twice dropped by Sunrisers Hyderabad during this year's IPL. Warner hasn't played a T20 for his country since September 2020 due to a combination of injury, rest and schedule clashes. From batsmen to bowlers, former Indian off-spinner Harbhajan Singh is hoping leg break bowler Yuzvendra Chahal could still be included in India's squad for the T20 World Cup. Chahal was surprisingly excluded, with Rahul Chahar getting the nod instead. But Harbhajan has been impressed with Yuzvendra Chahal's display in the ongoing IPL and wants him to make the cut. And finally, speaking of changes, former Pakistan captain Rashid Latif says PCB chief selector Mohammad Wasim should ethically resign if any changes are made to the World Cup squad announced last month. Latif says he could sense there would be some changes in the World Cup squad since it did not come across as a balanced one and there were some perplexing inclusions and exclusions. Vinod Nawani, TV6 Sport.
Broadcaster and former West Indies bowler Michael Holden has challenged everyone to, quote, stop being silent and embarrass the racists, unquote. Holden spoke eloquently on the issue of racism in July 2020 during a rain delay in England's first home test of the year in the aftermath of the George Floyd murder in the United States.
Former West Indies fast bowler Michael Holding, who yesterday lashed out on England for opting not to tour Pakistan, well, he's back in the news again. Well, this time it's about racism, saying people must call out and embarrass racists if equality is to be achieved. Well, earlier this year, Holding released a book about racial discrimination and revealed he suffered barbaric abuse as a player in England. Now he has called on people to be anti-racist, saying, quote, you need good people to stop being silent. It is no longer good enough to say, I'm fine, I'm not a racist. You have now got to be anti-racist. You have got to call out the racist and you have got to embarrass the racist, end quote.
In the football world, a Brazilian footballer is facing a charge of attempted murder after kicking a referee in the head and knocking him unconscious. William Ribeiro was arrested after attacking referee Rodrigo Crivellaro in the head during a match on Monday. Let's get the details in this report.
Well, it's a match that turned from the good, the bad, to the ugly, as a Brazilian footballer has been charged with attempted murder. Well, that's because he kicked a referee in the head during a second division game, knocking him unconscious. William Ribeiro kicked referee Rodrigo Crivellaro twice during Monday's match between Sao Paulo de Rio Grande and host Guarani Venancio Aires. The incident happened after Crivellaro did not give Ribeiro's Sao Paulo team a free kick. Well, the match was suspended and Crivellaro was taken to a local hospital after being knocked unconscious. Ribeiro was arrested at the stadium and charged with attempted murder. The referee was released from hospital on Tuesday. Some good news, and the judge will decide whether Ribeiro will remain in custody during the investigation or be released on bail.
That's the sports news for now. Until next time. welcome to our probe around the globe. Tonight we start in Guyana, where Joshua Henry, a 14-year-old schoolboy, collapsed and died after receiving the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. The cause of his death has been attributed to bleeding in the brain. More in this report.
Joshua Henry, a 14-year-old schoolboy from Kamwata, Maruka in Region 1, died on Monday about 90 minutes after he was administered the second dose of a Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. This led to concerns that the vaccine led to his death, and as such, a senior team from the Ministry of Health, including senior pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh, was dispatched to investigate the matter. When the autopsy was completed, a press release from the Ministry of Health stated that it was found that the boy's cause of death is a ruptured cerebral aneurysm. That led to cerebral hemorrhage. This aneurysm, the ministry said, was a pre-existing condition. In simpler terms, an aneurysm occurs when a bulge forms in the blood vessel in the brain and fills with blood. The Cleveland Clinic in the United States says that aneurysms often produce no symptoms unless they burst open or leak blood. If that happens, a severe headache and/or a fatal stroke may occur. In Joshua's case, the ministry reported that the ruptured aneurysm led to a brain bleed. Additionally, the Ministry of Health stated that there was no scarring or hematoma, which is a collection of blood under the skin found near the vaccination site on his arm. Meanwhile, the boy's aunt, Talika Peters, told the newsroom that the boy opted to take the vaccine because he was very anxious and excited to get back to school. She, however, lamented that health officials did not explain the boy's cause of death to them in simple terms, and as such, the distressed family were left wondering what the given cause of death meant.
No minister, education officer called me on the yesterday. Yes, she called me. She talked to me. But we didn't get any word from Dr. Frank Anthony until now.
The family is currently engaging in funeral arrangements for Joshua. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Raghaver.
Over in St. Lucia, business owners have had enough with foul odor emanating within their environment. They are appealing to the authorities to move with haste to address the unsanitary conditions on Clark Street. The busy street has been plastered with human waste, with two well-known homeless men believed to be the main culprits.
Vieux Fort's homeless problem is having a negative impact on its local business community. The owners of establishments are coming forward with troubling stories of their own since News Force first chronicled the plight of some exasperated entrepreneurs. Individuals on Skid Row have been relieving themselves indiscriminately along Clark Street. One business person who declined to appear on camera says the proprietors have incurred a heavy tab for the upkeep of the storefront.
There is a big problem on Clark Street, Vieux Fort, with vagrants. We as business persons are very concerned because two notorious vagrants known as Jordan and Alalu are defecating and throwing garbage near the business premises. It is a cause to power wash around our business premises. We have spoken to the authorities, mainly the police, town council, and environmental health, and these vagrants are still on the street. We are asking and pleading to the authorities to please assist us with this situation.
The businesses on Clark Street claim the inaction of the authorities is as entrenched as the ghastly stains that mar the street pavements, concrete, sidewalks, and walls. Former president of the St. Lucia Small Business and Industrial Association, Tedbert Thibault, says the unsanitary practices of two homeless men have become a chronic problem which requires urgent attention. Even street vendors have had to bear the pungent stench and repulsive eyesores of human waste and trash strewn about the streets in downtown Vieux Fort, the heartbeat of commercial activity in the south. Thibault is unnerved by the perceived failure of local institutions. Observers also point to the need for humanitarian assistance to the two homeless people at the center of the unpleasant saga, who they argue should be receiving some sort of institutional support. The upset business owners hope that their outspoken stance in the media will spur the authorities to action. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
Moving on to international developments. An earthquake has killed at least 20 people in southwest Pakistan. Rescue efforts are underway as we hear in this Al Jazeera report.
Most people were asleep in the early morning hours when a shallow earthquake caused death and destruction in southwestern Pakistan. People in rural Balochistan live mostly in mud brick homes, and as has always been the case across earthquake-prone Pakistan, poor communities that lack modern construction methods, where high build quality is unaffordable, those are the places where earthquakes exact their highest cost. Despite access roads being cut off, by sunrise, rescue crews had reached the town of Harnai and begun sifting through the rubble.
This earthquake, it might not seem very large, but it was shallow. The shaking was very strong in the epicenter area. Harnai is very close. You are only about 15 kilometers away from the epicenter. And so if you add that to the construction of the homes and structures in the area, that will unfortunately cause large damage. The fact that it happened at night when people are sleeping, that even exacerbates the damage and the injuries that would happen in the area.
The quake was felt as far as the provincial capital, Quetta, aftershocks continuing for hours. The area is mountainous and prone to landslides. That poses another threat that could hinder rescue and recovery operations. Rescuers are also trying to reach more than a dozen coal miners trapped underground. Provincial government officials say as many as 100 homes have collapsed so far. And with most people at home in their beds at the time of the earthquake, the number of dead and injured is expected to increase. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera.
That's it for our probe around the globe. Stay with us for a review of the main points.
Recapping the main points in the news this evening, Police Commissioner Edwin Martin has been explaining the plan of action for the new prison facility at Grand Dance. He says it's a temporary move and it may never be used at all. And we told you the story about the young girl who was given what could have been deemed a death sentence at the age of 3. But tonight we heard her story of a battle well fought, and we heard from 8-year-old Amir Hamlet. A lot to talk about Ven and using it to cure COVID-19, but local scientists issued a word of caution tonight. We heard from Dr. Guido Marcel. Cabinet convening next week to talk about the reopening of schools, if, when, and how. And residents on the island northern corridor telling stories of compounded grief as their neighbors suffer one loss after another to COVID-19 and natural causes. They've been telling GBN Gerard Joseph that it's difficult, especially since they can't go to the house to extend condolences and to have the regular 3-day week. We feel the pain around Grenada. And around the globe this evening, medical investigators in Guyana rule out COVID vaccine as being responsible for the sudden death of a teenage boy. The World Health Organization has approved the world's first malaria vaccine. And in sports, we heard broadcaster and former Windies bowler Michael Holding challenging the world to stop being silent and embarrass the racists in the fight for equality. That's it for our news today, Thursday. I'm Odette Campbell saying thanks for joining us on behalf of the entire news team. Just before we go, a reminder that if you missed any part of this newscast, there's no need to worry. You can catch up with us on our social media platforms, our YouTube channel, and the GBN Facebook page. So long for now. We'll see you again tomorrow.